Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's a delight to welcome to the International Institute for Strategic Studies His Excellency Sheikh Dr. Mohammed Sabah Al-Salim Al-Sabah, who is the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Kuwait, to speak to us here on the theme Kuwait Foreign Policy in a Changing Environment. Dr. Mohammed has a PhD from Harvard University in economics, and so rare among deputy prime ministers and foreign ministers, comes to this hall with greater academic credentials than many who work here. Speaking only for myself, while I just managed a BA from Harvard, I escaped to the ancient halls of Oxford for my DPhil, knowing that the rigor of a Harvard PhD would be too taxing for me and expose me to many more examinations than I could safely pass. And so I'm very delighted to receive him here, because the IISS has had a long relationship with the state of Kuwait, and we are delighted to have known the present de facto dean of the London Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador Khalid Duwaisan, from the time of his arrival in the country. We are looking to further deepen our work on Gulf security and draw on the excellent access we have in the region to develop better ideas on the future of regional security. This is an area of the world that has no regional security institution that draws together all the relevant powers. The Gulf Cooperation Council is an evolving organization, but it does not yet include Yemen, whose president is here in London for a donors conference, and there is no organization that regionally gives a place to Iraq or Iran, or to the powers from outside the region who have a stake in Gulf security. This is why the ISS created a regional security summit, our IISS dialogue in Manama, Bahrain, which brings together the national security establishments of all the states of the Gulf with key outsiders to discuss regional security multilaterally. This year's meeting takes place the 8th to the 10th of December, where, amongst many, many others, U.S. National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley is attending and will present a fresh, we are told, U.S. perspective on the region. Kuwait has always been a very strong supporter of the ISS and of the ISS dialogue process. And the perspective of Kuwait on regional security, a country that has suffered hugely from the regional ambitions of others, is one from which we can all benefit in understanding the Gulf and the wider Middle East. There is no one who can give a more authoritative statement on that perspective than Dr. Mohammed, to whom I now give the floor. Dr. Sheikh Mohammed, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As John indicated, yes, I was drafted from academia to this job. And when I was young and immature, I used to organize lectures of this nature and conferences, and usually, and the pay was not great. But it's always I have been fascinated as a young man in the global trends, macro aggregates, strategic balances, you know, the big picture. But then when I grew older and became wiser, and most importantly drafted into politics, I started realizing that all politics are local. And to have a better and solid understanding of a macro picture, you have to have a solid understanding of the micro foundation of that environment that you are studying. For that reason, my presentation today is going to be about this micro picture, about this tiny country, Kuwait, and how it's trying to survive in a changing environment. After all, a nuclear explosive is nothing but a release of energy embodied in a tiny atom. So what is the macro setting? But I have, of course, to satisfy the requirement by my friend Mamoon, who told me that, no, you should say something about the macro setting, the macro environment, before jumping into the micro details. And so I have to satisfy at least those who provide me with this podium and also with the coffee and cookies that I had earlier. Now I'm a sailor. This is my hobby. I like to use analogies from the sailing world. We are practically sailing in a quite a turbulent and uncharted environment. Of course, the usual suspects are the Palestinian problem, Iraq, and Iran. Now, with respect to Palestine, yes, the weather is quite severe, and it's a very turbulent weather. But the waters are very well charted. We have numerous Security Council resolutions. We have the Arab Peace Initiative. We have the Quartet. We have all the elements, all the components of a solution to the problem. But we have an obstacle, which makes this weather continue to be of a violent nature, and that is the behavior of the Israeli government of not accepting those resolutions and not fulfilling its requirements and its obligation as an occupying power in Palestine. So it doesn't take a Nobel laureate to see that there is a solution within our reach, within the Palestinian issue. With respect to Iran, again, there is the gathering clouds, if you will. But again, the waters are charted there as well. We have the IAEA. Iran is a signatory to the non-proliferation agreement. Iran continued to promise that it would abide by this agreement. We have the matters referred to the Security Council because of the IAEA's report of disappointment with the degree of cooperation by the Iranian government with the agency. And currently the Security Council is in process of negotiating the sort of reaction and response of the international community to Iran's position. And again, the situation is within the international legitimacy and the organized international agencies. And so there is no great deal of uncertainty there. And this is what I call its charted waters, and there is no uncertainty. The turbulent and uncharted waters are Iraq. It is not a country facing a problem with the world, as in the case of Iran, or in the case of Palestine, where Israel is not responding to the international legitimacy by applying and complying with the Security Council resolutions. Iraq is in an internal struggle, and this is where we don't have a guiding principle to gauge and to measure reactions and how to prevent Iraq from sliding into a difficult position. But I have to say very few words about Iraq and how we in Kuwait see things developing on the Iraqi side, or the Iraqi scene.